It's Saturday. It's 9 o'clock. Yes, it's time for the Monster Magic Saturday Show. Let's do this.
Wake up, it's a beautiful morning. Feel the sun shining for your eyes.
Woohoo! Good morning, people, and thank you very much for tuning in for another Saturday morning magic review show. I've got a great mix of products for you today, mostly a new bit of mentalism and a golden oldie or two. So without any delay, let's get into it. First up, we have Sequence by Relish and the 1914. Relish is a very popular, hard-working close-up mentalist, and this is billed as a baffling wallet mentalism masterpiece. It does fit in your wallet, and it is pretty baffling. It is essentially these three ESP cards, and they've got ESP cards, sequences of ESP symbols on these three cards, and they've got them on both sides. It's a 3-phase routine. The first phase, the spectator chooses a card and reads out a sequence from that card, and you're able to tell him what the target symbol is. There's a symbol at the end of each sequence, and you're able to name that sequence, that symbol. The second phase, he can choose another sequence from that card and read it out in any order, and you're still able to nail the target symbol. And finally, the third phase, any sequence from any of the cards in any order, and you still get it right. Relish does the third phase more as a mind reading effect. He sort of gets the person to think of the target symbol. And it's really good. It is really good. These are the cards, and they're very well printed. They're not bicycle stock. They're sort of plasticized, so you won't get them wet, or if you do get them wet, rather, it won't damage them. And the symbols on both sides. At the top, you have age groups, which is one way that you can ask the spectator to choose each card. So you've got, for example, 15 to 25, 25 to 35 on that side, and so on. All the sequences look pretty random, and in fact, they are really random. The actual sequences perhaps aren't too important. If you know when you know the method, you'll realise that there's no memory work involved in this at all, which is great. So here you have the sequences, and down this column you'll see the targets. It is a nice routine. It is very easy to do. It does pack in your wallet. It is baffling. All of that is completely true. The problem for me is it feels a little bit more like an enigma, a sort of a puzzle, something that you should really be able to figure out, in the way that I remember when I was growing up. There were, you had those sort of tests at school, and you had to sort of say what came next in the sequence. It sort of feels a little bit like that to me. So I'm not sure whether it feels magical or like mind reading, or more of a feat of memory or deduction. Essentially what you are doing is deducing the target symbol, which obviously doesn't relate to the order of the symbols or anything like that. So the method's clever. The method's clever and very well hidden. It just feels like what you're actually doing, and the way you're performing it, and the way it is close to what you are doing, but it's very well hidden, so no one will know. So it is baffling. It is baffling, is what I'm saying. I'm just not sure I like it. The nice thing, so these do fit in your wallet, and you can just use one. You don't have to use all three, obviously, but then you'll lose out on the third phase, which is obviously the strongest, because you can then talk about just how many thousands of combinations of these symbols there are. What you then get after this little routine is Rich teaches you one of his professional walk around ESP card tricks, using normal ESP cards, and that's another 3-phase routine, and that is really good, really easy to do, nice simple method, really strong, really fun, and really engaging. For me, this felt a little bit cold. I wasn't quite sure whether or not I needed to be talking about the tone of their voice when they were doing the symbols, some way of building a connection with the person using these, I found a little bit difficult. With the ESP trick that came free with the bonus routine, that was much easier. And in fact, it's actually built into the routine, this sort of connection. And actually, you can use 2 participants for it. It's a really nice, the bonus routine is really nice. So this for me is more of an opener to that bonus routine. And if you did the 2 routines together, you do get them all for your $24.99. You get both routines. That is really good. To do both of those routines, you will have a really nice sort of 8-minute 6 phases of using ESP cards and symbols, and that is beautiful. I would really do that for $24.99 using both of these things together. They really should made more of the second routine as well, because that brings it all together. And this is like an introduction to the ESP symbols, and then you've got a very strong ESP symbol trick afterwards. So for the $24.99 you get 2 effects, put them together, and you've got a really, really good piece of walk around mentalism. And now it's the turn of Royal Tea by Gordon Bean. Gordon Bean was the packet trick king not so long ago. And this is his take on the 3-card Monte. 3-card Monte is the chase the ace or follow the lady. You know the thing. It's been around for ages. There are so many interpretations of this. I've lost count. This one's good. It's different. I'm not sure whether it's better than any of the others. It's a really hard decision because you've got such a variety of 3-card Monte effects. It's very hard to judge. It is very much a personal thing. But what you get are these 3 cards. These 2 are completely normal, and this one is your gimmick. And it's a traditional 3-card Monte routine, but it's got some very good visual transpositions, and that's what I really like about this. They're easy transpositions to do, and the routine flows very nicely. The tutorial is by Nick Lapoca. That's the guy with the hair who never ages at Penguin, and he runs through it all. He also does a nice little bit where he just shows the choreography of it, and that's really what you're learning. You're not learning any sleights, you're just learning the choreography. So it's very simple to do. A couple of minor discrepancies, but they fly by. And actually, during the course of the routine, it does seem like you have fairly shown all of the cards back and front, and the transpositions are eye-popping. Very good, very strong, and it all ends up by you putting them back in the envelope completely reset. So if you want a short, it is quite a short routine. The presentation that Nick uses eliminates any of that where do you think it is kind of scenario, which again, as I've said before, isn't very popular, and you're more talking about how you just shouldn't trust a 3-card Monte man. And they all end up back in this envelope, nicely reset. You also get a second envelope, which if you wanted to put some ungimmick cards in, will aid you if you ever get someone wants to inspect them. You just put that one away and pull this one out. So that's a really nice touch. It's also a nice spare should someone spill anything on this. The gimmick is different to what I thought it was going to be. It's different to the other gimmicks that I've seen, and it works. It's easy. It gets great reactions. It's a little short for a 3-card Monte routine. I'm not sure it's got as much hook as some of the others. Obviously the current king of 3-card Monte would be Stand Up Monte by Matthew Garrett. The issue with that one is it's got so many phases, and you've really got to keep track of where all of the cards are. You've got to know that inside out to be able to do it. So it's not the sort of thing you can just pick up once in a while and do it. If you're a pro, you do it every night, that's fine. but for an amateur, you'd have to keep refreshing yourself. This would be very quick and easy to refresh yourself. And it is only 3 cards. Fits nicely in your wallet for you to carry around, or put the envelope in your pocket. And then you've got obviously Skinner's Aces, which is another great 3 ace routine, but that really for me uses a table, and this doesn't. So there's a lot of advantages to this over some of the other 3 card Monte routines, and it's got a much more visual transpositions than Skinner's Aces, and it is visually as good as stand-up Monte. It just doesn't have the length of the routine, which is an advantage if you want to learn it and practice it, and just do it occasionally rather than every day. It's only $18.99. Like I say, the tutorial was very thorough by Nick, and it's just a nice, easy to carry around packet trick. And now I want to talk about Envelope Opener by Voigt. I'm sold out. Murphy's were sold out, then they got a dribble back in, they got a handful back in. I don't know what the current situation is this morning. Envelope Opener is a brilliant effect. I loved it when I saw the trailer, and then I saw the price and my eyes began to water. Good grief, £257, blimey. But what a brilliant opening effect it is. So I got it in because I thought, if you do magic, if you're a professional magician, this is a professional routine.
Here's the first trick. I need your help, okay? In a deck of cards, there are high cards and there are low cards. Which ones would you like, the high cards or the low cards? The high cards, yes? And I knew you would say the high cards. So close. All right, you, sir. Next question is for you. Out of the high cards, let's say 10, Jack, Queen, or King. Up to you. Which one do you want, sir? King, yes? And is there any way I could have known you were going to say that? No. And I correctly predicted? No. Hang in there. Hang in there. Okay. King. Let's say for you, sir. Last question. King of clubs, hearts, spades, or diamonds. Up to you. Which one?
Hearts.
Hearts. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. No more dumb jokes. No more dumb jokes. There is one card and one card only in there. And you wanted the King of Hearts? I don't even want to show you. I'm just going to show you, sir. Okay, lean forward. What do you think?
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, wow. You nailed it. At the brunch show, this kid was like, Mom? No, this is not the dumb joke castle, okay? You said high, you said king, you said hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, I have one card here, and one card only, the very own King of That was dumb at first, but that got good.
And it is brilliant. It is really, really good. It's funny, it's easy to do, and it's strong magic. But what a price. And I thought I was really taking a risk getting this in, because I saw the value in it, but I wasn't sure anyone else was. But funnily enough, it sold out within a day. So some people have the same view that I did, and I'm just curious as to what you guys think. You haven't seen it, but I was actually also surprised when it arrived. It came really well packaged. It comes in a little carry bag. All the envelopes are in a strong envelope as well, so you can carry them around in that. If you don't want to use your jacket, you use this outer envelope with a question mark on it instead of your jacket pocket. And everything is Tyvek and really, really well made. Blake says he's been using his prototype version since the dawn of time, since for many years, and he hasn't had to change it. The props will last you forever. You're not going to be looking for refills. I was pleasantly surprised with what you get. But I think the routine is well worth the money. Just the routine itself. The method is super. It is easy. It's just very expensive, and it's up to you whether or not that is what you want. But I'm just wondering, really, guys, I'd like you to put some stuff in the comments. If you think that what you get the laughs, you get the easy to do, you get the props, it's a brilliant routine. It's the sort of thing that Scott Alexander might have charged £500 for, bless him. Then let us know in the comments as to whether or not you think it is worth the money. I'm curious. I personally, like I say, think it is. And now for a coin trick. Yes, Rainbow Hole by Tango. This is actually on pre-sale at the moment, I think. Officially released on Monday. But what you have here is an incredible piece of powerful close-up coin magic. I love this routine. It looks like real magic. It basically looks impossible. It is sleight of hand. It isn't self-working, but it's not as difficult as you think. Essentially what you do is you have a coin, show a Chinese coin, and some tweezers, and you can pop the tweezers through the hole of the Chinese coin and produce another coin of another color. And you can do this repeatedly until you can produce up to 6 coins from that one coin just by dipping your tweezers through the hole. And everything is examinable. Yes, it is pure sleight of hand. There are no gimmicks, essentially. So what you get is in the baggie, you get the coins and the tweezers. I can't see anything special, particularly about the tweezers. So you can get replacements easily enough if you're so inclined. And there's nothing about the coins either. They are genuine Chinese. I say genuine. They're the traditional magic Chinese coin. You get 8 of these puppies, and yes, you get various different colors. There's a green as well, and they're your standard magic Chinese coin. I say Chinese coin in inverted commas, and they're fine. They're not super heavy. They're not super shiny, but they're good coins, and they are completely examinable. And they're exactly what any spectator would expect, really. Yeah, so that's great. I mean, really, all you've got to be prepared to do with this trick is learn the knack. It is sort of one move repeated. It gets the last coin is the hardest coin, but you don't necessarily have to do the hardest coin, and or you can take a little bit of a pause and cause a little bit more misdirection, because for me it's a little bit fumbly, the last coin. I've called it sleight of hand. It's more of a knack. It's just something you got to learn, and it's easy to learn. If you just have these coins at you, and you can just sit at desk or in front of the TV, or whatever you want, and you can pretty much practice the move. The move is the actual production bit is straightforward and easy. Sort of load, I'll call it, is the bit that requires the knack. But you will pick that up. I reckon, it depends really on how intensely you do it, but within a few hours you'll have it. And I think it is well worth the effort. It is, if you watch that, and this is why it's got so much interest, and this is really why I think it's going to be a big seller, because it is eye-popping magic, isn't it? And really your decision is, if you like what you see in that trailer, and you can't deny that doesn't look like real magic. It seriously looks like those coins are appearing from nowhere. If you want to be able to do that, then you are just going to have to invest a little bit of your time, and you will get it, and you will be able to do it. I promise you. It's a knack. It's not easy straight away, but it is well within the realms of most people. And yeah, it's just up to you if you're willing to put in the time. And I think if you watch that trailer, the more you watch it and the more impressive it seems to get, I think you will be coaxed into giving it a go. If you don't feel you're going to put in the time, then please, you know, be honest with yourself. Inspiration was from Mario Lopez's Chinese tweezers. I think this is possibly, I don't know, I found this sort of easier, but perhaps I did play with Chinese tweezers quite a lot, so I had a fair bit of knowledge and a fair bit of muscle memory already. I like this more than Chinese tweezers. I like the additional colours. The props, of course, are only part of the story. What you really need to know is how well is it taught. And like I say, it is really only one move. And Pico, what's his name? Pico Verde teaches it really well. There are some nice angles on it, so you do get to see exactly how it all works. And really, yeah, it is just something you're going to have to sit down with and play and enjoy learning. Is that not what magic is all about? Even if it's your hobby, you will have a brilliant trick that you will have a brilliant trick. So even if you don't do any coin magic, this sleight or this move or, you know, knack is unique to this tweezer trick. It's very similar to Mario Lopez's Chinese tweezers in method. And it's just something you've got to practice, but it's not something that, you know, anyone will necessarily already know or be better at than you just because they're a coin person. You do have to sort of, you know, there is a sort of bulk to this. So you slight angles issue perhaps, but in the course of a normal close-up routine is absolutely fine. I just love how good it looks. So there you go. It's $55.99, and I think it is a brilliant effect, but it will take a little bit of work. And next up, it is Ritual by Dan Harlan. Dan Harlan, don't we all love Dan? He has producing some things that I feel have been a bit hit and miss recently. Ritual is his take on the Grandma's necklace. Now, quite cynically, I thought because of the popularity of the TCC version that came out fairly recently, that Dan had hopped on the bandwagon and come up with his routine to sort of some way, you know, leap on the success of the TCC version. It turns out Dan has been doing this for quite a while, and recently he published a video of him performing it many moons ago, certainly before the TCC version. It is a take on Grandma's necklace, which goes all the way back to the discovery of witchcraft back in the 1800s. But it is a really, really good effect. I used to do a version of Grandma's necklace back on the streets as a rope through body. That traditionally it is done obviously as a necklace and these beads on a necklace, which is why I am looking like I've just come back from Goa, and I have been playing with some Tibetan bells, and I have this sort of cool beaded necklace on. And this is part of what Dan sort of bangs on about in the trailer, is that it is an everyday carry. It is magic you can wear. So it is always on you. Let's just look. I think these beads are fine. I think it's an all right necklace. I have a friend of a friend who wears a beaded necklace. He's kind of known for it, and it suits him. It doesn't necessarily suit me. I don't wear enough tie-dye or have a man bun or whatever it might be. So it probably doesn't fit into my wardrobe necessarily, but I would probably wear it under my t-shirt or jacket and get it out, and I would wear it just to carry it around. And the trick is great. Basically, you have someone hold the beads in their thumb and they hold the other end. You move the beads around and they let go of the middles and you slide the beads off the middle as if they were melting through. It's done quite quickly, but it is really, really good. The trailer doesn't do it justice, because what you do get a sense that those beads are definitely on the middle of a necklace, and that is essential, because if people don't believe that they are on the middle of a necklace, that they're not threaded genuinely through, the effect has no power. And I'm not sure whether that comes across on the trailer. And then you can move these beads. Can't really do it. There's no one with me, but you move the beads up and you slide them off. It is a much stronger piece of magic in real life than you see on the video. It just doesn't come across very well. I'm not sure why. I don't know whether the editing makes it look confusing as to why they're holding it and so on. But it is really good, and you can wear it. You can carry it around. The necklace is sort of a string type necklace. You have these clasps, and the beads are fine. I think the ones in the trailer were sort of lighter than this. I don't know if there are two different types, but I quite like these brown ones. You can change these. So what you can do, obviously, is they just need to be beads. Basically, certainly the two end ones can be pretty much any bead as long as it fits on the string. Or you can even change the necklace. There's nothing really too gimmicked about any of it. It's all about the clever method. And I do like the method. It does have a reset. The reset will only take you a minute, and it's not complicated and it's not hard to remember. It is a very simple piece of strong magic. I'm not too keen. Dan has that ritual patter. People don't like the word patter. Shouldn't use it. Which presentation, and again, that's not me, but you know, if you can wrap it around a presentation that suits your style, then do. I think it is really strong. It does feel like the magic happens in their hands. It does feel like the spectators are really involved, and of course, at the end of it, everything is completely examinable. It's a shame you can't thread the beads on the necklace. It's a shame they have to start off on the necklace, but like I say, because they're on the necklace, because you pull it off, that looks legit. There is no real suspicion that setup isn't completely genuine. So yeah, I really like it. I do really like it. It is magic you can wear, and it's good magic that you can wear. It is only $24.99, and that is Ritual by Dan Harlan.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
And now it's a bit of an oldie. It is Leo Smetsers' Whiteboard Monty. Yes, my memory was jogged because of royalty. This is Whiteboard Monty, and it is there's a disc Monty which has been out a while. I think it's a download. And it's basically 3-card Monty, but it's done with discs. Leo has taken it and he does it with these whiteboards, which is genius. Obviously, he's of turbo stick fame, so he knows a few things about whiteboards. And whilst I'm mentioning what he knows about whiteboards, he includes this whiteboard marker pen, which is one of the best for coming off cleanly. There's nothing worse. You know how you can't quite get all of the residue off? He provides you with the ideal pen for it, and he'll tell you where to get them and everything else. So that is a really good tip, even if you're just doing something else with a turbo stick or so on. This is the protective film, by the way. And what's great about this is that you can obviously come up with your own routines. He does one with the person's name and arrows. And yes, it's the 3-card Monty. They have to find their name, but I keep finding the arrows that point them in the right direction to the disc with their name on. Really, really nice. Lots of presentational fun things you can do with it. It is sleight of hand. There is the traditional hype move of the 3-card Monty is used, but it flies by. And especially if you were doing this outdoors or an event where you're worried, you know, about the table conditions and so on, this is really good. This won't blow away. And yeah, it just opens up more presentational ideas to the 3-card Monty. Vernon described the 3-card Monty as the most entertaining magic routine ever. This takes it to a slightly different place. So yeah, they've just got to learn the one hype move, and you are good to go. And yeah, you can just come up, especially if you're doing, as Leo mentions, if you're doing trade fairs or things like that, you can add the product's name on there. It's nice to have the spectator's name written on these, and if you know the spectator's name in advance, you can actually turn them over and show that they've all got their name on and things like that. It's open to your imagination. They're well made, they'll last a lifetime. You get everything you need to start off, and I just think it's a nice little take if you want something a little bit different, gets away from cards and coins, and it's a lot of fun. And now just a quick plug of Paul's Balls, which is a brilliant take on the tossed out deck. It is, or book test. It's a tossed out lottery book test. It's by Paul Martin, who I happen to know pretty well. The book is great. Let me just open this up. Book is great, and it's just full of lottery numbers, obviously. Can I show that? So yeah, it's probably the easiest way of doing it. So it's just full of lottery numbers on each page. You toss this out, people look for a lottery number, they all stand up. It's the traditional tossed out deck routine. It's really good. I love the fact it's lottery numbers. It makes it different, and it makes it more colourful. It just gets away from cards, which I do want to do occasionally. Having said that about getting away from cards, my presentation for it that I came up with involved Dippy Duck. This is my Ducky Chan, and he used to do that, and he would pull out the numbers, and basically I printed some cards with the lottery numbers on. I thought it was a fun presentation, and again, it gets everyone involved. One of those things, throwing something out into the audience and having it passed around is always good. Having people stand up and you can engage with those people that are standing up is also really good at sort of breaking down those barriers. It's easy to do. It fits in your pocket, and it's 8 minutes of great magic as the tossed out deck is. So there you go, that's Pool Balls by Paul Martin. And that's the end of the show, I'm afraid. The good news is I have reached over 500 subscribers. I think I'm on 518 at the moment. Obviously the big goal is to get to 1,000, because that opens up some lovely new features on YouTube for me. But let's just say, I mean, what could I hope for? 525 perhaps. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. Please just click the button, and that way you'll never miss one of these shows, and I will get a nice little pump of the heart as I see that number changed. So thank you very much for tuning in for another week, and I shall see you next Saturday at 9 o'clock. Bye bye.